Okay, so today it's time for another quick update on the account and where we currently are. It's not been quite a month yet since the account was started, so today we're going to go over a little bit what I changed in the last couple of days and also what the next plans are. Now, a couple of the goals are still the same, and obviously the grind is still going on, so you never have enough level 60 champions and you always need new gear. But there's already been a few changes that I made so that you can see where this is currently headed now that we're starting to also fill a couple of gaps in our lineup. So we're going to talk about this and also about one of the free champions now also dropped into my lineup, which helps me actually quite a lot with certain dungeons that I have thus far not really focused on because I just didn't have the tools to deal with it. So the first good news that through the daily progression and the daily logins I actually now got Morak, and that's something that I completely blanked on, to be honest with you. So she's a reward that you can get for free, as you probably already figured out yourself, and she is going to be a big staple of what I'm doing in regards to damage. I told you, I think in one of the recent videos, that I was debating a little bit who would be my next 60. I was really heavily leaning towards Ugo. He's already getting quite a lot of books, but then at the same time, I was really heavily reliant on damage with Alice. So Alice was my biggest damage dealer the entire time. I have obviously a few more tools that can deal with the clan boss, in particular talking about Elena Rail, about Frozen Banshee, even Kale to an extent, but nothing really that would help me in a lot of the dungeons, and particularly also for the Fire Knight, this was a bit of a problem. So Morak actually solves a lot of it. You can, through the recommendations here and the ratings, you can always get a bit of an idea of how good a champion is, but as you can see here, she excels pretty much everywhere, especially when you compare to what I currently have. So as a damage dealer, she is really nice. We have, first of all, of course, with multiple attacks on her level 1. She attacks 2 times, which is great for the Fire Knight. You have Strengthen, which is amazing also for the clan boss. So it's another hero that can really help you there, that buffs your entire lineup. And then on top of that, we have also a team up. So this is another tool that is not only great for any normal dungeon, but specifically good for the Fire Knight, which is going to be huge. And then in addition to that, we have also, again, the counter attacks right here, depending on the strength. So all in all, she's a great damage dealer. She's also defense-based, which is nice. And I equipped her so far. You can see that a lot of the items are actually on level 13 right now. So these are mostly broken sets that I have. My issue is still silver. I've been upgrading a lot of extra gear that I got, and was trying now to get all of those to 16, but there are actually a couple that I'm still missing to upgrade. Again, I need a couple more million in order to get all of that done. But I also swapped some of the gear around. So currently I'm working a lot with broken sets. I have a couple of my champions that are actually in full sets. Alice would be a good example. I got really nice boots here, speed boots, relentless with 6-star. Unfortunately rare, but hey, at that point in the game I obviously take that. I'm barely level 45 with the account, and this is really going to help me. The extra turns with Alice help me too. Now ideally I would want to have her in some damage gear, for example Savage set, but that is something that I haven't been able to properly farm yet. So Relentless is going to do the trick for now, and it's actually some of the best gear that I have. So I swapped things around with her a little bit. I'm still waiting for an amulet, so this is where I heavily rely on the clan shop, as I already said before. But I'm now slowly also getting to a point where I can tackle the spider den a little bit more. But generally speaking, Alice's stats as still my main are fairly okay. I've had 98% crit rate. I've had 111% crit damage. Her speed has gone down a little bit, which isn't really a big issue. She's still at 180, and I have also a lot of wiggle room still, just talking, for example, about trying to upgrade the gear a little bit by just enchanting it. So with a couple of glyphs, so there's some work that I can still do on that end as well. But generally, I'm pretty happy with Alice. She needs a decent banner. Once that I have a banner with a speed substat, it's also going to be quite nice for her. And what's maybe a little bit more important is that I'm also starting to slightly speed tune some of my champions that I'm using for Arena. So for example, currently I'm using Gorm as one of my fastest champions, but if you're taking a quick look over here at the daily login rewards, it's going to take me only 2 more logins and then I'm going to get High Cartoon, which is the only champion that at that point I will have that has not only a speed aura, but also then of course with her A2 really, really nice ability that allows me to get an increased speed buff on all of my champions and also fill the turn meters. So she basically will take the role that Gorm has right now. The main reason why I'm currently using Gorm is because I don't have anything that is better than him. He can still be super useful for faction wars in a couple of other regions later on, but basically all of his gear is going to go straight up to High Cartoon once that I pull her, and she's going to be my fastest champion yet. Same play, by the way, for him, so I'm currently operating with a couple of items that haven't been fully upgraded yet. Again, doing a lot of campaigning, doing a lot of upgrading. This is just at the end of me switching out a lot of items and trying to level a few of them up. But if you look at his speed at this point in time, he's currently at 210, and that is without a banner. So I'm going to give all of that over to High Cartoon. She is then going to be the fastest, will go first in hierarchy when we're talking about arena attacks, and then we're going to have Ugo come in as second. He's at 206, so he's going to be my debuffer. He's going to come in, increase the, decrease the defense of the opponent's team and get the hit in, and then afterwards I can come in with Alice, and I think the second one that I'm going to get into the mix is then most likely also going to be Morak, who I'm currently trying to get it to 60 as quickly as possible. You can already see that I am operating with, like, I have five-star chickens right now, so I need one more to upgrade, and then I can get her to 6-star. And at that point, I basically am going to get her to 60 immediately, probably still in the course of the current clan versus clan battle to get some extra points here. And that is then going to help me a lot with, yeah, arena in particular, but then I can also then immediately start to use her in the clan boss as well. Now, the one thing that I have to do with her too is I need to ascend her fully. I'm currently lacking some of the potions that I need for that, but once that the dungeon opens up, I'm going to heavily focus on that. Just farm that a little bit, get the remaining potions, ascend her as well. And then I'm actually in a pretty good spot with this. Now, there's other tools, of course, that I still have, and I need to upgrade all of this to level 60. But then for the first time, I have really a lineup that allows me not only to go into the Dragon Slayer and farm speed sets, but I can start to also focus a lot more heavily on the Fire Knight, so I have something like a bit of a foothold there. I can, for a while now, already farm Minotaur on 15 on the highest stage. That means that I need to also complete all of that to get the remaining masteries. For example, with her, I've only locked a couple in, so there's not really a whole lot going on. The only champion where I really have full masteries is Alice, and I still need more also for Ugo, for my Frozen Banshee to make more clan boss damage, and so on and so forth. So right now there's still a little bit of grinding on the menu, just making sure that I get A, the silver, B, the chickens, so that I can upgrade my own champions. First of all Morak, then afterwards it's most likely going to be Ugo. I also need to get a couple more books in, but as I upgrade my items, as I get also more accessories, then we're going to get really to a pretty good point. And I still have pretty decent progress on the Great Hall, I'd say. So mostly focusing on accuracy. There were a couple that I needed in order to get the missions, to complete those. For those, you have to upgrade attack, so I invested that. A little bit of crit damage for my magic champions, but outside of that, it's really going to be a very heavy focus on accuracy. And when you are looking over to arena, I've been dabbling in gold a little bit. When we're talking about gold, I mean, generally was quite nice. You can see the lineup not really optimized, so the positions will be changed. So I'm going to have, instead of Gorm, I'm going to have High Cartoon in 2 days, and here I'm going to have Morak once that she gets to 60, which should be, I'd say, tomorrow, maybe the day after. So can still farm pretty easily a couple of points here, and then just focus on arena. So with High Cartoon, I'm actually expecting that I'm going to establish myself in gold a little bit more and then get the rewards there as well. But currently, I would say the progress is pretty decent. Again, once that a few of these items are being upgraded, it's going to be much easier here. A couple of those are probably still going to hit me hard, especially, yeah, there's always a little bit of a trap. I hate bombs, I always did. Might still win this, thanks to Ugo, but again, I need a few more of those on 60. It all depends at the end of the day on Alice right now and what she can do. But generally speaking, I would say I'm sitting at like 90% win rate in arena right now. You have to pick and choose, obviously, every now and then on what you're actually going for, but it's been nice rewards and it really helps me. There's a couple of things that are of course a little bit tricky, particularly when we're talking about force affinity, that can really screw with you and be a huge problem. And just generally I'm fighting up, so a lot of the people that I'm currently battling have way higher power, which isn't really the biggest deal, but I'm suffering slightly from the fact that my Alice is now a bit slower, so this is a bit of a problem. But once that high cartoon is in, I don't think this is going to be the biggest obstacle anymore. So even here, things are still working quite nicely. You lose every now and then a couple of fights, but generally the accumulation of upgrades here, of silver medals that I can use, or gold medals that I can use for the guild hall, has been going pretty well. So I'm fairly happy with the account. Again, like, this is going well, so the grind is gonna be strong. There's a lot of energy to really invest. I need to now get the Spirit Keep farmed, which opens on Thursday, which is tomorrow, so that's already great. A little bit more Minotaur farming here. Can also go for Dragon Slayer, and then on the Fire Knight with Morak once that she's on 60. And that will probably keep me busy for a while. So considering that the account wasn't created even a month ago, I would say all in all, it's been a pretty big success. I have the account now on level 45 and progression has been going really well. There are a few things that I still can catch up on when we're talking about some of the challenges that I haven't really specifically focused on, where there's a couple of rewards that I can still get, which of course is going to help then too. And in addition, there are still lots and lots of missions that I haven't really dedicated myself to either. So as you can see here, just a couple of life artifacts already. So there's plenty to pick up, which I am probably going to do once that I'm in a position where I have a more stable lineup and I also got the silver that I need to upgrade my artifacts. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with the progress. It's been going really well so far. And again, I would expect everybody to be at roughly the same point after roughly a month if you know what to do. And I hope that throughout all of this until now, you learned the ropes a bit, and especially what to do, what not to do when you're starting with an account in Raid here. But as usual, if you have any questions, if you have some specific problems that you can't really deal with, or you don't know, hey, how can I get a little bit stronger here, better there, then by all means, feel free to ask in the comments as usual. I'm happy to help when I can. And with that, little update for now, so that you see where this can be at after roughly a month. Thanks for watching, and I guess I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. So, have a good evening.